Mate, how are you? Okay. That's a proper knock at the door.
As you can see, we have bought a few surprises. Do you know what's going to be inside these? This is a vintage Swansea City shirt.
So 1980, so it would have been 9. That's
From
the
memory.
Wales under-15s, that is.
Okay.
Remember them Blazers for sure.
This is interesting.
Yeah, that's
It's a great look.
So that was, my dad still got that cap, believe it or not. That was 1986.
I may or may not have cheated the system slightly because I found an unbelievable photo of you, and I don't know the facials on this, nor the stance, but what is going on here? And I do believe we're able to see a couple of your recent achievements. You have quite a unique space, don't you? Quite a unique room that you've got set up where you're able to share.
What, the bar?
The bar, even better. Now we're talking my language. Let's go and take a look at that because I know there's some hidden gems there.
Yeah, okay, no problem.
Wow, this is quite something, Marge.
Yeah, this has been my sort of international journey as a coach. Obviously, this is the bar area of the house.
This is the inner sanctum. This is where the magic happens. This is where the fun happens.
So we sort of turned into a little bit of a sports bar, but yeah, this is the sort of my international coaching journey, really summed up in obviously the shirts and some of the memorabilia on the wall.
Look around. This is steeped in history, no?
Yeah, it's a long time in the making. Obviously, going back to when I started with Wales, and then the journey to 2016 to the semi-final. But one thing I realised after that tournament, I probably didn't take as much memorabilia as what I should have done. So then when I got the opportunity then to go to England, I decided throughout the tournaments to take a shirt from each game. So the top row on the wall is 2018 in Russia, the journey to the semi-final. And then as we come down, then the roof, it's the tournament, the Euros at home, the final against Italy, then the journey in Qatar to the quarter-final, and then the journey from the next Euros to get to the final against Spain. So it's all been mapped out in shirts, really.
And the biggest question is, how'd you get them up there?
Yeah, well, I'm okay at DIY, but it was tough because there's 4 screws obviously fitted to the roof, and then you have to match up exactly and then clip on the shirts. So it was a tough job.
Yeah, you're a braver man than me. What's worse, doing that or penalty shootouts?
I know that for sure. Yeah, there's a lot more pressure on me doing the DIY.
Mrs. wouldn't be happy, would she?
No. Yeah.
The one thing I do notice, there's none of your shirts, your playing shirts. What's the story?
Yeah, my coaching journey has been far more successful than my playing one. And that's the reason as to why, really. My parents have most of my shirts from my clubs when I played. My dad's very passionate about that, so I've got the shirts here from the journeys, but the medals that I've got from the finals and playoff finals, etc. My parents have. I give to my mum and dad. So there's no medals here, but the shirts and the stuff that Gareth has done for members of staff that on their journey through England when they get to 50 games. I think it was a brilliant touch that he likes to commemorate that, and because it's important to the staff members in what they do. And I was fortunate enough to had my 100th game out in Germany. Yeah, so it's just a nice keepsake, really. Something I'm extremely proud of to show.
Well, let's talk. I mean, you mentioned your parents there. Your father was clearly a massive influence in you becoming a goalkeeper. Talk us through the very beginning, before all this, before the 800 was up, before the milestones, before that. What really wanted you to get between the sticks?
I think, like most, young young people, they aspire to do, they're influenced certainly by their parents. My dad, he played locally as a goalkeeper, and that's where my interest in goalkeeping started as an 8-year-old, from watching him playing locally, and then I started my journey in Baglan Boys Club, and went from there really. I got spotted then throughout my younger age groups by Billy O'Donnell, who's not with us anymore, but he's a scout in Swansea. He took me to Man City, and then that's where my sort of playing career started, because way back then, I think it was about 1985 when I first went to Man City as a young 14-year-old.
Long time ago now.
Yeah, a long time ago, yeah. But their youth setup in particular was exceptional. The amount of players that Man City used to produce with the youth team was a major attraction as to me going there basically. And then I started that journey in 1988 as a fresh 16-year-old.
Still fresh today, don't worry. It's interesting, whenever you speak to coaches, their playing career, often they're able to take best practice, sometimes worst practice from their playing days. They gain their own experience, which they're looking to then pass on to the players that they will hopefully influence later on down the line. How far has goalkeeping coaching come since your playing days?
You have analysis now, which wasn't around back when the goalkeeping coaches I worked with back in the day. That's a major help to me. But I have to say, I mean, even back in the day, the goalkeeping coaches that I worked with, they were masters of their art, and they certainly shaped me into the coach that I am today, for sure. And I still speak to, one or two of them. I hold them in the highest regard. Definitely, you take everything with you on your own journey. Like you say, John, some mostly positive, not all. I think back in the day, if you made an error on a Saturday, for example, and I made an F, it was the practice then that your coach felt that you had to rehearse that mistake first thing on the Monday, which I found that really difficult, because it was almost reliving, yourself as a goalkeeper when you've made an error.
And at that point, it's too late anyway.
It's too late, yeah. The horse is almost bolted, and that was one thing that I vowed, if I was going to go down this path, I would never do. So, yeah, little things shape you, but most of the stuff I'm talking to, my goalkeepers about now, it hasn't changed from 35 years ago. I really believe that 100%. Funny enough, I was talking to Lawrence Vigouroux yesterday around one of the first things that sticks in my mind from one of the managers I had back in Man City, Jimmy Frizzell, and Mel Machin were the first managerial team I worked with. And Jimmy wasn't a goalkeeping coach, but obviously he was a very astute manager. And I remember he said to me about any cross balls into the box that you can't affect as a goalkeeper. From your starting position, you have to get back to the line. Now I'm still coaching that. I'm coaching that yesterday with Viggs, because he came to me 2 years ago. He didn't used to do that. He would stay exactly where he was tactically and work lateral across the goal. So those moments haven't changed at all. These are my beliefs. Other people would maybe argue differently, but
which is where, like you say, each coach comes into their own. You're all individual coaches. Football, in a way, is and always will be a game of opinions. Let's face it. At what point during your playing career or during your time did you think, I want to coach now? Did you always have that instinct in you?
No, for sure I didn't. And I was coming to the latter stages of my career when I started to self-analyse better myself and started thinking different tactically, because it did sometimes, tactical positions I think I've been able to influence my goalkeepers with a lot better than when I played, to see some of my positions back, and I'm thinking I wouldn't be happy with myself as a coach. And yeah, that's been the biggest thing tactically, I think, is the positions. Yeah, you can help the goalkeepers with now, yeah, for sure.
Is it important to have played the game?
No, It isn't, and there are some excellent coaches who haven't played. I think from a goalkeeping point of view, the only sort of advantage you have is it gives you the empathy with your goalkeepers, because you've lived the life and you've stood under the crossbar. And I say to my lads, like, I made every single mistake there was to make, and I know how that feels, and you know, I can help them with that detail, because you know you're going to make a mistake as a goalkeeper. That's a fact. It's a part and parcel of the job. So if you can get in their psyche around that, you know, it's okay, as long as you can learn from it and move on and do everything you can to try and rectify that. It's fine. It's part of the job, 100%.
A lot of people, whenever you talk about milestones, it's a great time to almost sit back and reflect, and because we know a footballer's journey is not just you. There are so many people that go into it. Your family, your friends, your close-knit circle. When you do take a step back and you think 800 up, and you look around this room and you think of all the international plaudits and honours and so on, who do you think of?
Yeah, it's a brilliant question, and obviously you go back to, you know, obviously first thing is your parents. There's not one single footballer or coach that can go on any journey in any sport without the support of their parents. You know, financially, for example, you know, logistically taking them everywhere they have to go now. So that would be the first thing, and then you meet coaches along the way and managers you play for. I mean, my coaching journey started through Dave Jones, and without Dave, nothing would have started. I'm not sure, to be honest with you, John, I'm not sure he fancied me as a goalkeeper, but he saw something that he wanted me to come as part of his coaching team, and that gave me my first steps in the coaching, on the coaching ladder. And then I was doing that with Cardiff for 3 years, and then Gary got the Welsh job, and I've known Gary, you know, most of my playing career, and when he rang me to become part of his coaching staff, that was an extremely proud moment for me and my family, and it was through Gary and working with Gary, then Gary's recommendation to Big Sam, and you can see how things sort of map out in not only in football and coaching, but in everybody's life, I think. And then I met Sam only because of Gary, and then, you know, through Sam then at West Ham and Palace and Everton, of course, and it was it was Big Sam who gave me the opportunity then after France with Wales to become part of the England setup, and that's where the journey started. And then obviously Gareth took over, and 103 games later we were still in the European final. So that journey was an incredible part of my life, my family's life, and it was an extra special time.
Well, talk to me about Wales, because there's a picture over there that's signed by the whole team. Euro 2016 in France.
Yeah.
How big of an achievement was that for that Welsh camp?
That was an incredible achievement for that group of players and that group of staff, and for the country, because everybody realised what everybody had gone through. It was such a roller coaster with what happened with Gary and the devastation we all felt, because he's such an important part of Welsh football and everybody idolised him. And it was a really difficult time, and after what happened with Gary, things definitely derailed. You can imagine it was such a tough time for us as a staff and for the players. And I think Craig's documented that himself. Craig Bellamy now, you know, one of the players at the time was exceptionally close to Gary, and then Chris took over, Chris Coleman, and it was difficult for Chris at the start. We had a couple of difficult results, and I think he was trying to do everything he could to carry on Gary's legacy, and he did an amazing job. And that journey was another special moment in my career, to get to to the semi-finals of the Euros with an amazing group of players, and the staff, and Chris did an amazing job. And it was tough for Chris because he was so close to Speedo. But that journey, I know Gary would have been extremely proud, and as I say, it's all pride of place there.
Do you look at that picture and do you look back at those memories and think there's one person missing?
Yeah, of course, and we all felt that, and he'll always be a part of my thoughts when I think about my career, because without Gary I wouldn't have started my international journey for sure. And it was through that journey and getting to the semi-final that obviously gave me my opportunity. Sam wanted to sort of draw on that experience a little bit when he started his journey with England, and it was only because of that journey I got that opportunity.
And that message on that board, Together Stronger, kind of resonates so strongly with so many people, in particularly men, in particularly those who can only look forward to a Saturday afternoon because football is their only thing that they can look towards, but that message is so powerful.
Yeah, it was born from the journey, obviously, and with what everybody had gone through, and it's the message Together Stronger that in 2025 it's still a focal point of the Welsh FA. It's an incredible message, and something that the players even now, and Craig in particular, he finishes every meeting with that slogan, and constantly reminding the players about it, and it means a lot to the players and to the staff.
So then of course you're taken in with Sam, circumstances happen, and Gareth takes over in an interim period initially. What's that process like for you, and did you see something in Gareth where you thought we could really achieve something?
You can tell that he's an exceptional manager.
I see Weetabix with your name on it. I see a personalised letter from Gareth to you, your family. Was that value shared not just around the camp of players, but around you as a group of staff?
That water bottle probably culminates in 18 months' work, which was organised by Gareth.